Hello everybody, Corey here. We are going to go over the ULTY daily trades and holdings for May 30th. Just a reminder, I'm not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. All I do is gather the data and present it to you so you can be informed of what's going on. Just a reminder also that YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. These risks are defined on the website. Please make sure you understand what you're investing in before doing so. So today, let's look at the daily first. Some of the sectors didn't download when I copy and pasted this data, so I do apologize that all of that's not here. I can actually zoom that out a little bit to get as much data as possible. As far as the outstanding shares, we've actually decreased by 250,000 outstanding shares. So it's pretty significant. But if we look at our net assets, it only went down a couple of million. But okay, and then if you want to see the rankings, if you want to see the IVs here, our highest IV currently is CleanSpark at 101%. Then right behind it we have more Bitcoin related, right? We have Mara and we have MicroStrategy. So the top three. Then if we look at the bottom, we have Chewy, which is surprising that that's only 51% IV, considering it jumped like the stock jumped, I think, 30% today after earnings. But that is interesting. And then same with Foot Locker and AI. All of these had, and Kava, all of those had earnings this week, but they're the lowest IVs, so that's interesting. But anyway, I have AI there and Chewy in red because those were actually closed out of today. So we'll see that over here on the side. And then if we go here, ULTY actually increased 1.55% today, or 22 cents, while the S&P went down 0.6%. And let's see, let's sort this. So we have B. Riley went down 7%. We had Dale go down 5%. MicroStrategy down 5%. CleanSpark down 4%. If we look at these that are up, really? Chewy? I guess they went up yesterday. I don't even know because that doesn't seem right. But anyway, let's look down here. So we have AI that jumped 19%. And then we have Foot Locker jumping 15%, and Kava 6%. And then we have Upstart, Gap, and Hood all up 4%. So Gap also had earnings, but as far as which one of these had earnings after hours and how that's going to affect these, I am not sure. But let's keep going right now. So again, you'll see here on the side we have I can't click anywhere. We have the short call trades in the stock here where they closed out Chewy and AI. So they paid to close out the short calls and then close the stocks as well. So let's just keep going. And then we have over here our net assets. I can sort that there. Of course, you see the bottom two, they're not on there anymore. And there's the net assets for the rest of those. So let's go to, let's see what's on the trades tab. Okay, so let's look at this one. I don't normally do this because something like this takes quite a bit of time and there's lots of these in here. But, so they closed out of AI and Chewy. So what I did was go gather the data so we could look at it. Let me hide this. Okay, so AI, that's the top part here. So the top 4 lines is where they had stock. So the top 3 is where they bought the stock, and the last one's where they closed it. So overall, they actually made $726,000 off of the stock. Then the bottom 4 lines, there's the short calls. Now, the one in the red, actually on both of those, the one on the reds, that's where I waited and I was working on stuff at night and had issues, and then I didn't realize while I was working on other workbooks that it passed midnight and I didn't get the holdings for ULTY. So what I had to do was just generate based off of the closing price that day for the stock. So it means I didn't know exactly the price they bought it at. I just used the closing price, and then for the short calls I had to go based off of the the holdings, since I didn't have the trades. So, yeah, and I wasn't going to bother Jay because that was my screw up. So those are estimates on those two lines, so just know that. But then anyway, so the short calls, those first three lines is where they sold them, and then the last one's where they bought it back, right? So, yeah. And so they've had these over a couple of weeks, if you're wondering here. I don't have the dates on here. I have them hidden. So these were done over a couple of weeks. And that's why there's different lines and different buy-ins and different numbers and everything. Chewy, I think, is different at the bottom. But anyway, it ended up costing, the short calls ended up costing $282,000. But between the stock and the short calls, they ended up making $444,000 off of AI trade. And then you see here we have Chewy, because this one was a new one, I believe, this week. So the first two lines we have the stock, and then the next two we have our short calls. And so you can see where they opened, where they bought Chewy for $17 and turned around and sold it for $21.90. They ended up making $1.87 million. But then they had to buy back this, and note also the numbers, because one thing I did forget to write down here is you can see that they were called away, and I didn't think about putting that data on here. The difference between that and that was at 16 contracts, so it's not much. I'm going to just make a note here for now. So it looks like they were assigned for 16 contracts, because the numbers don't match up exactly on either one, on the stock or the short call. Sorry. But this is the data for the rest of that. So it looks like here, based on this, those stocks, they made $631,000 almost. And yeah, so that doesn't include the 16 contracts. So I would need to add that back in there. So obviously they didn't buy back the contracts, but this gave whoever bought them the authorization to buy these stocks at $17 a share. All right. So what is that? Delete equals 16 contracts times 17 times 100 shares per contract. So that's 27,200. Not much, but it is more. So I need to go back and add this. I don't want it that color because that tells me something's wrong. All right. So anyway, just wanted to break that down. We don't normally have this. Usually they'll just wait till the end of the week and do whatever, but I guess they realized that they'd probably make more money this way than the other way. I don't know. I didn't do that calculation, but I guess I should have. But anyway, I just wanted to break those two down for you in case you were wondering, since there wasn't a lot. And then we have our holdings here. So we already went over the top data. We didn't go over the premium, did we? We did not, because I figured I'd go over it over here. And so this is ULTY, so it's not till next month. So yeah, I think that's about the same thing. It's just up a couple of cents there. because the outstanding shares went down 250,000 is probably why it's up a couple of cents, since they didn't actually sell any short calls today. So anyway, let's go through here. All of these contracts, with the exception of one, will expire this Friday, and then B. Riley will be next Friday. But let's see where we stand. It was a pretty red day today, but we did have some of these jumps. So we have Kava here. So we are over the strike price. It's $92, and we're currently at $93.15. I guess they chose to close these other two out because there was significant difference for these, and they didn't think they would come back down. Because we can see, that top one, Kava, it's already over, but it's not over by much. So I'm guessing that's why, and that they're hoping it'll come down that $1.15, because the stock did end up rising 6% today. But I can't remember when that one reported earnings. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like it might have been the day before. Yeah, they have a lot of increases on their targets. Yeah, it looks like they did yesterday. I don't know if it was last night after hours. I don't even know. My days are running together now. Yeah, okay. So it would have been here on Tuesday. Believe it or not, I actually got in on this trade. I bought it. I got that dip. And then I don't know why it came up, but it came up and was at 90 something dollars. So I think mine did a stop. My trade went through today and made like, I don't know, $20, $30. I guess it had been $25 a share today. Anyway, I know y'all don't care about that, but let's see. Then we had CleanSpark here with the $20 strike. We're 18% under that. CleanSpark is at $16.39. It went down 4% today. I didn't realize it had gotten down that low. And then we have Dell here. So Dell had earnings today. So they have a strike price of $185, and at the close today they were at $170. So let's look, because I was hearing something about them going down, which they always go up on earnings. So let's see what actually happened. Oh, they went down. Yeah, and it's funny though, because if we look back, the strike price was $185, right? Yeah, so $185. We were actually $185 up here. I guess that was pre-market today. They were all the way up to $185, and then the market opened, and then it tanked, and after hours, earnings happened, and then it tanked again. So look at that. It got all the way down to $135. In fact, look at the post-market, $139.76. Okay, I need to put this on my list. I heard it tonight, but I wasn't totally paying attention to what was being said. But Dale, I'll take me some Dale at 135. I don't know if it'll go down though. If it'll go down more at open. But anyway, so that's 135 when we look at our short calls. 185. Yeah, unless something significant happens tomorrow, we don't have to worry about that one at all. Now, Foot Locker, I think, might be the opposite. I think the retail stuff, like the clothing stuff, was fine, but let's just check. I mean, when I mean fine, I mean going up, which would not be a good thing for this one. But Foot Locker, we have a $26 strike price here. The stock, though, went up 15% just today. So let's look. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to click on. I was wanting to see if it was here. Foot Locker. All right. So, which this makes me wonder if they had earnings pre-market this morning. 12 hours. Foot Locker earnings, 14 hours. I don't even know what that is to now. I guess that's still this morning. Well, I don't know. 17 hours ago. So, yeah, I guess that was this morning. So that would have been pre-market. All right. So, yeah, they did pre-market. So their move was already today. So it looks like this one's okay for now, but I guess it depends on what the market does tomorrow. But then we have Gap, and I'm like, somebody else must have had the Gap ticker or something. I don't know why they got GPS. I feel like that should be for somebody else, a ticker for some other company. But let's do GPS. And let's see. Okay, so their earnings were an aftermarket today. So both of these did good. And I was thinking there was another retail one, but it might not be in this. We might not have that in this fund. But it looks like it went up to $28. So we're at $27.80 this evening. And Gap, our strike price was $23. So that one's not good. Unless, again, something happens in the morning. And then we have Hood here with a $22 strike. We're underneath that 1%. It did come up 4% today, so we'll see. Then Mara, $23.50. All right. Sorry, I had to pause. So we were just talking about Hood, and we were talking about Mara. All right. So then we have MicroStrategy, strike price at $1,800. We did fall 5% today to $15.41. So we're 14% under the strike price. Then we have Novavax. Wow, we're only 25 cents to the strike price there. For some reason, I heard they were talking about that today, so I assumed it had went up. Then we have Reddit here. I haven't heard about this one too much since the IPO, but we have a strike price of $61.50, and we're underneath that by 8%. Then B. Riley, this one's not till next week. We have a strike price of $31, and yeah, we are 20% below that strike price, and I wonder why, but it dropped 7% today. Okay. So then we have Sunrun here with a $14.50 strike price, and the current stock price is $14.50. It rose 8% today. So hopefully we'll be okay on this one tomorrow. Then we have SMCI, 950 strike price, and we have we're underneath that by 13%. Then we have Upstart, $25 strike price. We're underneath it for 3%, but that's only like 72 cents. Viking Therapeutics, $68 strike price. We're underneath that by 9%. Then we have Zim Shipping with a $22.50 strike price. We're underneath that 4%. So we do have data that will come out tomorrow morning about inflation. So that will determine how things go tomorrow in the stock market. So we might have a lot of things going on. So I'm not sure how well all these are going to play out, but I started doing something here, but I don't think I ever finished. Yeah, I didn't. Because I was starting to go through and research and go back to see where we've been. And I didn't really, like I said, I didn't finish. And then I started trying to add back in the distributions and trying to figure out where, ULTY went wrong, to be honest with you. And then I never finished this. But we were, 17-18s, it looks like, until mid-April. And I guess that's what happened, because I would assume that's the time that, I know it was in April, I don't know if it was mid-April or not, but when the stock market went down significantly. And it looks like I'd highlighted red every time we went down more than 50 cents. Of course, I haven't finish. I do see one that's 50 cents right there. But like right here, April 12th, 15th, and 17th, just in those 3 days, we dropped, what is that, $1, $2, $3 in those 3 days. So that's just me trying to pinpoint. Now, I haven't gone back to those 3 days to see what we're going to do, what happened. Like I said, this was just the start of a research, just to, like I said, figure out where it went wrong. So whatever happened, it was around these dates. I would just need to go back and look at the stocks. And then we actually went up more than 50 cents one day, and that was on May 13th. That's why it's green there. And then it looks like I stopped color coding, and then I stopped adding days. So I'd update all of that. But we can glance at it if y'all want to hang out with me a little bit longer. And just look to see real quick what we can see. April 12th. It just irritates me. I wish I'd have never bought this one, to be honest with you. Now, of course, it's been steady for the last month and a half, around $14 or so, which is good. It just sucks that $3 drop. Okay, 12, 15, 17. So 12. We did close a bunch of stuff. It didn't cost a lot of money to do so. Yeah, about 700,000. That doesn't sound like a lot. Oh, I was like, why is this blank? Oh, data not saved. So I overwrote it. So I don't even have the holdings from this day, because I forgot to save it. And then, yeah, so I just deleted it. The 12th was the other day. That was the 12th. So it was the 12th, and then the 15th. No, there's a lot. Lots of closings, and I don't have a summary of all of these at the top. I used to, then I had to build a data check in it. I mean, there's quite a bit of money paid out there too. Now I can't remember which days it was. I don't know if this was another day also. Sorry, I gotta go all the way back. Yeah, it was the 17th. So I don't know, those don't seem big to me, but I look at lots of all these other YieldMax ones too, so it may have been a significant, I don't know why we're so far down on the sheet. There may have been a significant amount, those amounts. Sorry, I don't know why this thing was all the way. I don't know, unless I, throw me a pivot table in here and look at each day and how much money was spent every day, or paid out, and those days could have been, extremely significant. And that could be why. So anyway, obviously I'm not going to do that right now, but I just thought I would glance at it because I did. I don't need that anymore. I did start that. Yeah, I don't know what I did with it. And honestly, I haven't done the weekly the last few times. Probably even the last month. I don't know. I guess because I just don't like the sheet. No, it's not just that, obviously, right? I'm busy and doing other things. I guess, I don't know. I don't like the way it looks, or if it's even providing any useful data. And then this one was trying to go back and do things. This one was a little bit more difficult. Maybe it's just because it seems like it's so much work, and I don't know if there's a benefit for it. So I don't know. Y'all can let me know what you think in the comments. Let's see if we see anything on this. I forgot I used to check this. No, I don't really see, because this is really just the outstanding shares and net assets and stuff. And I don't even see negative net assets on those days. But anyway, I'll let y'all go. Sorry, I just thought I'd look at that thing I started building a little bit to see if we could see anything. But well, I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate it. And I will talk with you later. Bye.